Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are taking our very first look at the Tier 6 Pan-European destroyer, the Grom. Now this is a ship I didn't need to unlock, but I already had it unlocked, and so I figured why not. We got it from the crates back in the day, but yeah, it's a fun ship. These Pan-Euro destroyers are so much fun, and we're going to go over that in today's video. So first of all, let's look at our commander. We're running Jerzy Swirsky with Eric Bay and William Sims as our inspirations. We have Observant Rage, Look at Me Now, Perceptive, and Smoke on the Water. Now, we do not have radar yet in this line, meaning that this perk here is completely useless. So that's why we go on Smoke on the Water. Okay. Engine repair time, obviously we're running Unstoppable here because we want to make sure that we don't get it, or when we get our engine knocked out, we're not just dead in the water. As far as modules, we're running Aiming System Mod 1, Steering Gears Mod 2, Concealment System Mod, and we are fully upgraded, as you can see. You do have the option to switch to Defensive AA if you want, but honestly, it's a waste. Use the engine boost. You'll thank me later. But yeah, we're running the Italian Unity flag because if you squint just right, kind of looks like a Spartan helmet. And then of course we have the Type 1 permanent camo that I have created. I like the look of it, so that's what I went with. In terms of specs, 17,900 hit points with this build. So not the sturdiest little destroyer at Tier 6, but not bad. Main batteries, you have 7 main battery guns. You have 3 double turrets and 1 single turret at the front. So you have 1 double and 1 single at the front and 2 doubles at the back of the ship. Firing range with this build, 10.7 kilometers with a base reload of 6.2 seconds. 180 degree turn time is 15 seconds. Firing only HE with a maximum of HE shell damage of 1900 with a 9% chance to set fires. Torpedoes. You get 533 millimeter triple torps. You get 2 of those. So yeah, not ideal, but they do reload relatively quickly. Not the fastest reloading torps in the world, but it's okay. But they do no damage. I'm pretty sure that these torpedoes actually do negative damage when they hit battleships. I think they heal them instead of actually doing damage, but you never know. Sometimes you get floods. But yeah, they also have no range. 7.5 kilometer torp range with a 72 knot torp speed and average detectability. AA, you have basically nothing. You have 13.2 millimeter Hotchkiss WZ-30s. You get 8 of those, doing 14 damage per second, but only out to 1.2 kilometers. And then, of course, you have the 40 millimeter 56 caliber Bofors number 3. You get 4 of those, doing 32 damage per second, reaching out to 3.5 kilometers. So yeah, no AA, which is why I say the defensive AA is useless. Maximum speed, though, is very nice. 41 knots with this build. 610 meter turning circle. Does not feel as good as you'd think. But it is a shifty little ship when you need to dodge. You'll see some of that coming up. I like to open water gunboat with these things. You guys know that. But this thing also has the ability to sit in smokescreen and do some work as long as things get spotted. But yeah, 2.9 second rudder shift with this build as well. It's pretty nasty. But again, it has a tendency to push itself through the water because it's got built-in propulsion mod, I'm assuming. That's why these things are so quick. But yeah, it just kind of like shoves itself through a turn and doesn't like to finish the turns. But concealment, top of the leaderboard basically. 5.1 kilometers is pretty nasty, especially for a gunboat. 3 is guaranteed by air, 3 detectability by air. 2 is always guaranteed, and then a 2.4 kilometer detectability while firing in smoke is pretty nasty as well. Statistics. You'll see that I have played a few matches in this, nothing crazy, but 60% win rate. The main gun accuracy, 56%. Torpedo accuracy, a little bit less than that. Again, these may be fast, but I tend to use them for a lot of, just dropping them because they reload so quickly, so I just tend to drop them whenever I can. Damage to ships average is 74,000, which is kind of cracked for a destroyer, especially a gunboat that has very little damage with the torpedoes. Like, it's pretty disgusting. But average XP just over 2,000 as well, and yeah, you can see the rest. Armor, it's a destroyer, doesn't have any armor. Overview: fast, above average maximum movement speed. Flare for fire, equipped with HE shells only. Above average HE shell damage, fire setting capabilities, and penetration. Short range, low torpedo range. The torpedo range is one of the downsides for sure. But again, these torpedoes are so anemic when they hit things that you don't really notice. Now, if you can get up close and personal and unleash an entire salvo into somebody and, having triggered their damage controls, get those permafloods, that's where you're going to get some damage. But Grom and Bliskovica, or Bliskovica, I forget how it's pronounced, but she entered service in 1937, joining the ranks of the strongest European destroyers of the time. With the outbreak of World War II, the destroyers broke through the Baltic to Britain. After the fall of Poland, the ships joined the Royal Navy and aided in the Norwegian campaign. On May 4th, 1940, one of Grom's torpedoes was detonated by a bomb, sinking the ship in minutes. She entered service in 1937. There were 2 of them in the series. All right. Like I said, I like this camo on this particular ship. You guys might argue, but honestly, these Pan-Euro destroyers are a lot of fun. And if you haven't tried them out, I highly recommend it. They are so much fun. But yeah, she's not exactly the best looking ship. Definitely not the worst either. But she does have that whole broadside sticking out of the water problem that a lot of older World War II ships tended to have. But yeah, other than that, she's pretty nasty, and she takes hits really well for the most part, and she can dish out an absolute beatdown, and she's not afraid to get into a gunfight with anybody. I'll be real honest, this thing is nasty. So with that being said, let's get to the gameplay. Alright, so we are in Tears of the Desert in the Grom. Now let me give you guys a little bit of a backstory. I was only in the Grom initially because I needed to do the mission for the Gdansk, right? You have to win a game in the Grom in order to progress with the Bureau. It's a little roadblock, right? Well, I thought I was an AI. And I was like, I'm never going to play this ship. There's no reason to upgrade it. So I just slapped a commander on it, didn't put a camo, didn't put any like equipment or upgrade it or anything, and went into AI because it's AI, it's guaranteed win. Unless your team is completely useless, and even then I feel like I could probably carry the team to a victory against AI. But, I digress. I was in the Grom, I was on this match, and I spawned opposite of us, but in the top left corner of Alpha. And I proceeded to put up like 68,000 damage in a stock Grom with terrible concealment. And I was like, this thing deserves a video. This thing's fun. It really is. These Pan-Euro destroyers, the alternate line of Pan-Euro destroyers, I can't speak for the other line, but this line of Pan-Euro destroyers specifically is so much fun. From the Grom to the Split to the whatever, and yeah, they're all good. The Gdansk is fantastic. The Split is fantastic. I can't remember what the other one is, but they're all good, right? They're just so good. The Stored. So it's the Grom, the Stored, the Split, and the Gdansk. They're all fantastic. They're a lot of fun. They're potent little gunboats. Their torps are pretty mediocre, but still. You're going to showcase, or I'm going to showcase, or try to, why these things are so incredibly disgusting. Of course, it's going to help that the teammates that you end up going against are completely oblivious to the fact that they're being targeted. But even when they are not oblivious, I'm going to showcase just how nasty these little boats are in the right hands. I'm not saying everybody can handle them this way, and I'm not saying that I'm particularly good at it. I'm just saying that in the right hands, an experienced commander is going to absolutely wreck face with these things and can be an absolute nightmare for teams to deal with. So, with all of that being said, what makes the ship so nasty? Honestly, the guns. Obviously, you've got a high volume of guns. You've got 9 guns total, right? Or no, sorry. 7 guns total. You got 1 single in the front. You got 3 double turrets. 4 guns over the rear. 3 guns over the front. So you got 7 guns total. You have decently quick reloading torpedoes. Of course, I didn't build into torps at all. And So there's that. But these guns are so freaking good that if you get a chance to DACA with this thing, it is nasty. Now this one actually has a nice duration smoke screen as well. So the goal here is to try to get somebody to shoot at you and then sit in your smoke screen and get your thing. Now right out the gate, I get a flood on this Fuso, right? So my goal from here is to try to, now that we've triggered a damage control, give him a few seconds. It is a Japanese battleship, so he's gonna have a short cooldown or short immunity period for his damage control. So now we go for the big hits into the superstructure. You can see he turns broadside for my team. He never actually shoots at us, and that is real unfortunate. But fortunately, he does fire his gun at something or gets detected by a teammate or something. So because of that, we're going to be able to try to get him a fire. And unfortunately, we're just going to get the worst RNG at getting a fire that you'll have ever seen in your life. Normally, this thing sets fires like crazy, but for whatever reason, in this particular instance, it just was not having it. So, at this point, I'm about to get my torps back, and so I just choose that now is the time to push in. Now, to give this Fuso credit, he's not stupid, alright? He's already shown that he can do a pretty decent job of dodging, or not getting himself permanently detected by shooting into a smoke screen blind. But he's also turning away from towards me, which is going to minimize how many of these torpedoes he ends up taking. But fortunately, I don't need to hit a lot. We already got a perma flood going. And then if I can get a shot or two into him, we're going to take some health off of him. He does shoot us. He has HE loaded too. So again, he's proven that he's not stupid. So we'll give him credit where credit is due, but unfortunately for him, there's only so much you can do when you've taken a perma flood and you got a destroyer sitting here chunking you with HE, and then that shot passes right between the two superstructures, doesn't touch anything. What are the odds of that? Right? But we only managed to lose a little less than 5k health there. It's actually about 4,300 to be exact. So we'll take that trade. We managed to kill a battleship, land 8 torpedoes in the process, and we managed to get into a position where we're going to be in a position of power. And this is where this ship is absolutely disgusting. Now, some of you might be arguing I probably should have captured the base, and you're probably right, but I wanted to showcase the DACA, and what better way to showcase DACA than getting behind a bunch of battleships that are looking the other direction and starting to DACA against them. They can't shoot you back. This is the perfect time, and we get a double fire, and you can see the fact that that guy got away with not getting set on fire is absolutely a tragedy. But it didn't matter because we ended up torping him, getting the perma flood. Now, as this guy starts to bow tank us, we're dropping the torps not because we're hoping to hit them, but just because we put them out there to whom they may concern. We know the destroyer's over here as well, and this is a stored, so keep that in mind. The stored is fully capable of being a problem for us as well. So we go ahead and start shooting the stored because he is the biggest threat. The battleship really isn't. You can see I what's the word I'm looking for? Underestimated the speed of the stored initially. You can see he does drop torps. Fortunately for me, him knocking out my my rudder wasn't a problem, but fortunately also short-range torpedoes. So we turn away, we get some distance. Now we've got 4 guns over the rear to shoot at this guy, plus all we have to do is get a little bit of angle as we're kiting away, and we get 6 guns on target, and then the 7th gun comes on target when we go full broadside, right? It takes a little bit longer, but the twin turrets rotate pretty quick, and they're always where you need them. Now, the battleships get a couple of nice salvos against us, unfortunately, because I'm not worried about dodging the battleships, and I should be, because I done irritated them. We always talk about knocking on people's door, and what happens when you knock on somebody's door. Don't be afraid to, or don't knock on somebody's door if you don't want an answer. And sure enough, like, this is one of those times where we knocked on the guy's door, but now we're engaged with a destroyer. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of border humping, but the amount of damage that we're able to do to this destroyer, we're just outpacing him. He may have had the advantage with him and a battleship, but when I got to focus him down, he just doesn't have much hope. So we're able to get out of there. We took a little bit of damage there, but we're still alive, and we still are a problem. And now that I am solely focused on this this Tennessee, he's going to have a much harder time hitting us. And there you can see the fire chance again. This thing does set fires. And you can see, while he's hitting us, it's just overpins. And we only have 2k health left, right? So we're just going to farm this guy down. by the time he gets to reload, it's just going to be too late. You can see we're not aiming far enough to the right here as we're trying to finish him off, but he's turning broadside, so we're going to immediately throw it in reverse, slow down, turn in. We've got our smoke screen going. We don't want to sit in one place and give him a chance to hit us. So you can see, just making ourselves skinny, reversing away. He got a heal off, but it doesn't matter. As long as we're not stupid, we should be fine. It's very difficult to hit a target. And of course, the Mutsu comes out of nowhere and snipes my kill. I do all the work, and then somebody else comes along and takes it. Now, I know it's not about taking kills, but still, it's annoying. And he's going to get a little bit of karma against him in a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and say, well, I could go after the destroyer, but going after a second destroyer with only 2k hit points to start with seems a bit, you know, arrogant. So I decide, if they want to kill the destroyer, they can find him. I'm going to go into the cap and guarantee the win, right? I can't guarantee me fighting the destroyer that I will win. So instead, drop some torps in case they decide to fall back, and I let my teammates decide what they can do. And then I go over here to capture the base. And the unfortunate side of things is, as I'm trying to capture the base and give our team the guaranteed chance to win, assuming that the destroyer is going to play keep away and torp the crap out of everything, because he's already torped the Mutsu once, and here comes some more torps for the Mutsu. Wait for it. Bunk, bunk. You can see he is torping him. And he did hit one. He hit one of the torps. But, yeah. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is the guy's going to pinch himself between the island and the battleship to my left, and that's going to lead to him getting taken out. I say unfortunate because I wanted the XP of getting this cap on top of everything that I did. I essentially took this entire flank solo. Now, fortunately, one of my battleship buddies did end up taking a chunk out of that Fuso, because if that hadn't happened, that Fuso would have been a much bigger problem. But as the Skane gets spotted here, he's broadside to everybody on my team, and he's going to end up in a situation where he could potentially beach himself, and the Mutsu says hello. But anyway, I thought this would be a fun little Merry Christmas for everybody. I appreciate you guys dropping in. Let me know what you guys think. 115,000 damage, second on the team to the friendly stored. I don't know what that man did over there. I'm assuming he captured a base, and I didn't, so he gets the XP. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys enjoy these as much as I do? And again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of you folks out there that don't celebrate Christmas. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.